April stared out the window at the endless stretch of black woods. The trees nodded together like they were whispering to each other. Murphy lay curled in her lap, ears twitching, his nose pressed to the glass like he could smell something rotten. Nathan, one hand on the wheel, the other holding his phone, was already streaming. "Alright, chat, welcome to the most haunted Airbnb in America," he said, grinning. The chat flooded in, messages scrolling up the screen so fast April couldn't read them all. "What's the story? Is this legit or clickbait? Dude, this place has some bad reviews, LMAO." "Oh, it's real," Nathan said, his voice dripping with the same performative confidence he always used to hype up a new investigation. "This place was home to one of the most brutal murders in state history." April sighed quietly. "Do we really have to—" Nathan ignored her and kept talking to the stream. "Chat, let me take you back to 1976, he continued. "A guy named Richard Holloway lived in this house with his wife and 2 kids. Small town guy, no criminal record, just your average, quiet, church-going dad. Until one night, he wakes up and butchers his entire family with a hunting knife." Murphy whined. April shifted uncomfortably, pulling her hoodie tighter around her. Nathan kept going. "But here's the thing," he said, his voice dropping into his storyteller tone, the one that always made the chat eat it up. "After killing his family, Raymond wrote something on the walls in their blood." He glanced at April. "Babe, tell him what it said." April sighed, gripping the phone as chat erupted with guesses. "Demon stuff? Red rum, LOL. 666, 666, 666. She cleared her throat and read the words that had haunted old police reports ever since. "The house whispers. It told me to." The chat exploded. Nathan grinned, seeing the viewer count spike. "And here's the kicker. Raymond was never found." A pause. April hated this part. The part where the story didn't have an ending. "The police searched for weeks," Nathan said, turning onto the long dirt road leading to the Airbnb. "Dogs, helicopters, full manhunt. No body. No sign of him. It was like he just walked into the woods and vanished." Murphy growled, low and deep in his throat. April felt a chill creep up her spine. Nathan didn't notice. "Anyway," he said, "that was decades ago. But every guest who's stayed there since, they all say the same thing." April could already guess. Nathan let the silence hang for dramatic effect, then said it. "The house still whispers." By the time they reached the house, the sun had almost set. The cabin stood in the clearing like a thing waiting with its mouth open. It wasn't run down, but it wasn't right either. The kind of place that looked normal at a glance, but the longer you stared, the more it felt wrong. April's phone buzzed. She glanced down at the screen. One new comment on Airbnb listing. She clicked it. It was from 3 days ago. "We left before midnight. Do not stay here. It doesn't want guests. It wants something else." Murphy refused to get out of the car. April hesitated. Nathan was already setting up the camera. Inside, the house was cold. Not just temperature cold. April had stayed in plenty of drafty, abandoned places before. This was different. This was the kind of cold that settled in your bones, like walking into a mausoleum. Murphy's nails clicked against the wooden floor as he stayed pressed against April's legs, ears twitching. Nathan ignored it all. "All right, chat, let's see what we're dealing with," he said, grinning at the camera. He held up his EMF meter. The light flickered red. April's stomach clenched. Nathan grinned. "We have company." And then, faint as a breath, she heard it. A sound that wasn't coming from Nathan. A sound that wasn't coming from the wind. A sound that was coming from the walls. Whispering. By midnight that night, the house was doing more than whispering. The live stream's chat was going insane. Nathan had tried everything throughout the day. EVP sessions, spirit boxes, even the classic knock twice if you can hear us trick. Something had knocked. But now, Nathan was bored, which meant he was about to do something stupid. "All right, chat," he said, motioning to the camera with finger guns. "Time to take this to the next level." April's stomach dropped. Nathan clicked a button. "For the next hour, every donation over $20 will be read aloud using our AI voice generator. Let's see if we can make the ghosts talk back." The chat exploded. $20 donation from Ghost Hunter. April, dump him. $30 donation from Skibbity, Ohio. Boobs. $30 donation from Horror Fiend 0925. Old Dick Holloway is a weak sauce ghost. Your family's better off dead than hanging with him. $50 donation from Anonymous. It feeds. April stiffened. "Nathan," she said slowly, "turn it off." Nathan frowned. "What?" She pointed at the chat. "Who sent that?" Nathan scrolled. The message wasn't there. Only the AI voice had spoken it. Then, the screen glitched. More messages poured in, too fast, all from Anonymous. The AI voice changed. It wasn't reading donations anymore. It was chanting over and over. "More, fai corpus meum, dimitimi." The room went ice cold. Murphy whimpered and bolted upstairs. Nathan's mouth started moving in sync with the AI voice emanating from his computer. The laptop screen flickered. April's heart skipped. The chat was still pouring in, taunting, laughing, but suddenly, the words stopped. The screen went blank for a heartbeat before the bright red glow erupted in her face, like the bloodshot eyes of something evil staring straight at her. The text began to appear, crimson, jagged, in English, as if burned into the screen, each letter searing through her skull. "Die. Become my body. Set me free." Her breath caught in her throat. The words flashed bright red, almost like a warning, a bloody message from the depths of hell itself. April yanked the power cord. The stream died. Nathan screamed. April's heart pounded in her chest. She grabbed Murphy, shaking as she ran for the door. Behind her, Nathan's screams echoed through the cabin. They sounded wrong, like they were being distorted, like something was taking him. She couldn't look back. Her hands fumbled with the door, slamming it open, the wind outside biting her skin as she ran. Murphy was already ahead of her, his paws beating the earth like he knew the way. They didn't stop running until they were back at the car. April's hand shook as she started the engine. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. She drove until the sun broke on the horizon, then drove some more. April pulled into a small, dimly lit roadside diner, her hands still shaking as she dialed 911. "Please," her voice cracked. There's something wrong at the Holloway house on Cedar Ridge. My boyfriend. You need to send someone. I don't know what's happening. But please hurry." They found nothing. No sign of Nathan. No equipment. No broken window where she'd escaped. The house was immaculate, like it had been scrubbed clean of the last 24 hours. And the Airbnb listing? Gone. April demanded answers. She pushed for another search. She begged them to check again. A few days after the house was investigated, April was able to obtain the Airbnb owner's phone number from an email thread she had found on Nathan's account. She called them. The phone rang too many times before a voice finally picked up. An older woman, calm, polite, a little confused.
"Hello?"
April gripped the phone tighter. "Hi, is this the owner of the cabin on—"
"I'm sorry. The property is no longer available for rent."
April's throat tightened. "I know, I stayed there last week, and something happened. My boyfriend went missing, and the police said they didn't find anything. But I know what I saw." A long pause. Then, the woman sighed.
"I'm sorry, dear. But I don't know what you're talking about."
April's stomach twisted. "What?"
"You must be mistaken, dear. The seclusion in those woods isn't for everyone. Some say when the wind picks up, it whispers."
April almost dropped the phone. Another pause. Then the woman laughed. Soft, pleasant, like April had just told her something funny. April's hands shook. "But the house!"
"It's just a house, dear."
A click. The line went dead. 2 weeks after the call, April was scrolling through audio production jobs on her phone when it buzzed in her hand. Murphy tilted his head and quietly lay down, eyes fixed on April's expression. The push alert on her phone read, "The Nightmare Files is now live." She felt sick and immediately clicked it. The stream opened. Nathan, or the thing that was masquerading as Nathan, stood in the Airbnb's empty living room, smiling.
"You can't run forever, April."
Murphy started barking, screaming at the phone. Nathan tilted his head.
"I'll find you."
And then, with a flicker of static, the stream cut to black.